Hello and welcome to Colts Camp. This is day 9, right before they head off to Baltimore. Unfortunately, the thing that's going to take away from this camp, veteran running back Salvon Ahmed, who's been a depth piece for them ever since Taylor got a high ankle sprain. He was on the practice squad last year. Suffered what looked like a severe ankle injury today on a hip drop tackle by an undrafted rookie. Shane Steichen said they don't want hip drop tackles, but they have been going live in those developmental periods.
Yeah, it was just a rough moment. The entire place just falls silent. All the players come out there and gather around him. Anthony Richardson was the first one out there to check on him, and just everyone really feels for that because there's practice fields full of guys that are not going to make this team, but they're trying to just survive and stay in the league. And he's a 6-year running back who's bounced around, and he's trying to get a chance to go somewhere else, and it's unfortunately not going to happen now. It's just one of those tricky balances for the coaching staff where they want a physical camp that's been stressed a lot. They're doing live tackling in the developmental period. They want a level of intensity to it, but obviously that one went too far, and it's not what they wanted to see at all.
Well, and on top of that, it's a rule. It's a rule in games. You can't do that. You can't have a hip drop tackle like that. From the rest of the practice, some good stuff from the quarterbacks. I think the biggest development is probably that Zaire Franklin is in 7-on-7. A linebacker core that doesn't really have a proven player outside of him needed him back, especially with Jalen Carlisle missing today.
Yeah, he's yet to do the 11-on-11s, but that'll come. It's just been a tough test of patience for a guy that never misses. He's never had a surgery in the NFL, and has missed a couple of games, but barely misses a practice. And you did kind of feel that absence to not have him for these practices so far. It's livened up the competition at a spot where they need some guys to rise up. But Zaire, the more he's not been out there, you feel like he's just that important to the group to organize it, to get the run defense somewhere, because we've seen the DBs make a ton of plays. We've seen the pass rush the past couple of days has really leveled it up. But that run defense is going to have to be a lot better than it was last year to give them the chance to make those plays against the pass. So that's he's so critical to that, just being a stabilizing force. So it's encouraging to have him back.
We've been giving you a play of the day. I'll give you Spencer Schrader's 54 or 55-yard field goal at the end of a drive setup. The kicking competition is leading Schrader's way. He's about 13% coming into today ahead of Maddox Trujillo. But that was the kind of kick he needed. That's the kind of kick they're going to need in the regular season.
Yeah, my play of the day was A.D. Mitchell, just another gorgeous fade route down the right sideline. Daniel Jones threw it back shoulder to him. I thought he should have just laid it out, let him go all the way down the field and score a touchdown because he'd won it that badly. And that's been one of the more encouraging parts of this camp is A.D. Mitchell going from a very bad start, in his own words, in the first week of camp to about 3 or 4 practices now where he's really looked the part and needed to, with Michael Pittman Jr. out with a growing injury. So with him, he had a big camp last year, so we still have to see it in the games, but it's the progress you want to see, and he's, as they say, stacking days and looking good out there.
Nate will be in Baltimore. They have a joint practice on Tuesday, followed by the first preseason game on Thursday. For the Indy Star, I'm Joel A. Erickson.
First off, Savon, thoughts and prayers with him right now. Obviously got a severe leg injury in practice. Never want to see that happen. I know we don't encourage hip drop tackles. I know Trey's, down in the dumps, and I don't think he's trying to do that. We're just trying to, create an edge is what I'm trying to get done. Especially in the developmental, those guys are going to have to tackle, come preseason. So, but thoughts and prayers with Savon, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
So that was a live tackling period for them?
Yeah, the developmental, as you guys have seen the last couple days, we've been live with those guys, just getting them ready, for tackling in the preseason.
So, it kind of happened in the end zone. Is that somewhere? Is that an area of the field where maybe you got to use some judgment, or what do you think?
Yeah, he's chasing him down right there, trying to make a play before he scores. Again, I'm sure he obviously didn't mean to do it. Injuries happen in football. It's a very unfortunate situation for Savon, but like I said, thoughts and prayers with him, and our team will support him.
You wrestle with this stuff a lot, I'm sure, as a coach, right? How physical to be and that kind of thing. Just how do you square it all?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, training camp is where you want to create the edge and the toughness and the identity of your football team. And so, you have live periods, and it's really just an unfortunate situation.
What do you think of the team coming around, and obviously AR coming over there to Forrest Buckner and
Yeah.
Brian Franklin?
Yeah, I thought it was tremendous, just the team camaraderie that our guys have, and Cam praying over them with the whole team there, just shows the the tightness of this group as it comes together. It's a new year with new faces and guys coming together. I think it shows a lot, just the closeness of this team right now.
Just how difficult or delicate, I guess, is it to then have to drop it back up and go out there and finish practice?
Yeah,
that's just football.
There's no questions. Obviously, there's a lot of thoughts going along in my head during that situation. Talked to some of the leaders on the team. Wanted to get that last 2-minute situation in there. Felt that we needed that. They were on board with that, so we went ahead and finished practice.
Shane, Zaire's dealing with an injury?
Tightness, just tightness. He should be good for Baltimore, though, on Tuesday.
Tightness?
Yeah, tightness, yeah. Just down here in the legs, yeah. Yeah.
Same with Vic, just
Yeah.
a groin that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, just growing.
Anthony had a kind of a rough day yesterday. What do you think of the way he rebounded today?
Thought he did some really good things today. I think, when you go down in the red zone, the windows are tighter. There's certain things, obviously, that we're working through in the red zone, not with Anthony, but I'm just saying with everybody, and just going through that process because that's where it's really tight windows. So I thought he bounced back really well today, made some good plays. It was a good day for those guys.
Anthony Gould's been making a lot of plays out there. I guess what impresses you the most about just what he's done year two compared to coming off, rookie season?
Yeah, I think, understanding the system's a big part of it. And you don't have to think as much. You start playing faster, really focusing on your technique and details of your route running. And I think he's made great strides in this camp.
I'm sure you want your offensive line to win more consistently, but defensive line today, what do you think?
Phenomenal. They were in the backfield a lot today. They had a ton of sacks there. I let it play out a little bit just to get the drill going. But those guys are rushing hard. Latu had some really good rushes. Quiddy had a good rush. Those guys are doing a great job.
Shane, with the preseason, whatever you do game one with quarterbacks, will you then flip that for game two?
Yeah, both are going to play in this game. I haven't had a chance to talk to them about who's starting, but I'll address that with them tonight. I want them to hear it from me first before they hear it, through the media. But yeah, we'll work through that.
When you say play, are you talking extensive or just to get a look?
Yeah, they'll play a good amount. One will play a good amount this game, and the next one will probably play a good amount the next game.
So what do you think of the day Riley Leonard had out there in the team period?
I thought he was good, efficient, throwing the football. I think he's doing a good job. I think he's making really good strides. I think coming in as a rookie, any rookie quarterback, learning the system, getting the reps, I think he's taking advantage of a lot of it. Still things to grow and learn from, but he's been making great strides.
Similarly, AD, what do you think about the consistency he's shown the last few days, last week?
It's been great to see. We need that from him. We need that from everybody. That's one of my pillars is consistency, and we need to be consistent all the time. Not sometimes be the same guy every day, show up.
And I think to do it after the first week where, honestly, he dropped the ball a little too much there, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I think it's a mentality, a mindset, just bouncing back from that. You're going to hit adversity in football season. You're going to hit adversity in training camp. And it's how you manage the situations and bounce back from that. So it's been really good to see.
In evaluating the quarterbacks, how do you weigh practices versus scrimmages versus games?
I think it all matters. It all counts. Every rep matters. Every walkthrough matters. Every meeting matters. It all matters. So everything's being evaluated.
It's no way up here in practice.
Yeah, I think it's all encompassing. Obviously, the competition will probably pick up going against a different opponent on Tuesday against Baltimore, and then obviously the preseason games. Obviously, I think it's just human nature. It'll pick up a little bit, but these practices are huge too out here.
With the new defense, a couple more. Do you view important playing time for Lou's first unit?
No, some of those guys, you guys probably know the guys that probably won't play. There'll be some guys out there, but I think you get a lot of that stuff here in training camp. You get a lot of it in the joint practices with that one group.
Will Zaire maybe get out there more in the joint practice or not?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we're still working through that with Zaire.
Shane, how would you evaluate the team as you head into this joint practice with Baltimore? What do you hope to see on Tuesday from them?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a physical practice come Tuesday with Baltimore. Got a lot of respect for Coach Harbaugh and their team. They've had a lot of success. So it'll be a good, measuring stick for us and how training camp's been going. But I think overall, it's been really good to see the competition back and forth, offense, defense, the position battles that are going on. I'm very pleased with where our team's at right now.
how important is it just to have Zaire back in some capacity, just with kind of how young and fluctuating the rest of that linebacker group?
Yeah, I think it's big. Obviously, he's one of the leaders on our team and makes a ton of tackles for us. Obviously, we're in the green dot at that position, the communication piece. Getting him back on the practice field is huge. He's taking all the walkthrough reps, which is good. So that communication, we get that in our walkthrough session in the afternoon with him. But to get him back on the field is big. Thanks, guys.
Come back.
Glad to be back.
How's it feel to just be out there doing a little bit?
Man, it's a blessing. I can't lie. I almost shed a tear yesterday when I first got on that field. I never missed that much time before. So just the journey that I've been through, God's grace and guidance, just working through. Shout out to the medical team here at Indy. They definitely took care of me all summer, pushing me, dealing with me every day. I'm a lot to deal with. So it felt great to be back out there with the guys.
You said that was your first surgery? Not ever.
My first surgery, and since I've been in the league, I had a couple shoulders, in college, but. Yeah, thankfully, 8 years, no surgery, which is a blessing in and of itself. But definitely a different transition. They've been, trying to get me to take an off day for, 3 years. And I've been telling them hell no. So God scheduled some off days for me.
So that's what it took.
Yeah, that's what it took. So, but now I'm back out, so.
Next time they want you to take an off day, take an off day.
We'll talk about it.
Lesson there, I think.
For sure.
When you're waiting to get back out there, were you confident it would come soon, or are you starting to have questions of when's this going to happen, or just kind of where were you at mentally with some of it?
Man, I've just watching so many guys throughout the years, when they get hurt, and when you're on that rehab process, it's so easy to get disconnected from the team, and kind of really be by yourself. That's when a lot of that mental stuff starts to weigh on you. I just was very intentional, just making sure I was still locked in with the guys, whether that was at practice and meetings in the building, just trying to still be very much present. And then honestly, when it came to my rehab, it was a process. I didn't take anything personal. I gave myself grace. I committed to my journey and my plan. Trusted the trainers that I had around me. And whether, it was a step back or a step forward, I took everything a day at a time. So.
They told us that you had had to deal with this for a little while. What made you finally go through and say, okay, I probably need to go under the knife and get this thing going?
Man, so it was something that actually happened back in Minnesota, believe it or not. At the time, I mean, I'm not the only one, but if everybody on this team listed the list of things that's wrong with them, y'all would have a full day of articles. So, I mean, it was just something at the time we just tape up and go through. It was something that's supposed to pretty much heal and get better over time. We got back for the spring, and, I had already been training, already been working out, was doing some drills, some things wasn't feeling right, got a scan, and then, just in the best interest for us to get it taken care of. That way we go into the season with a clean bill of health, because it was something that could be solved and wouldn't cause much other problems. So, obviously it was a tough situation. I'm a guy that I want to do I want every rep. I want from OTAs to mini camp to I'm not the type of person that likes watching practice and stuff. So, but it was something that we had to take care of for the season moving forward. So
how limited are you? How much do you think they'll let you do in Baltimore?
Obviously, it's a day at a time. I got back out there today, 7 on. Introduced myself to Tyler. I told him I would sooner or later. A couple other guys I need to meet on the team too. Yeah, man, we just look day by day. I'm in my process. I'm just glad to be out there with my brothers.
Joe Hibachi, helped you throughout the process. He said he's been super close with you already and just going through the playbook. So how is that relationship developed?
Man, Joe's a cool dude, man. I like Joe, man. He's been extremely helpful. Obviously, he's played with Lou for 4 years. So as we continue to learn and grow through the playbook, there's lessons that he's went through or watched guys go through that he's able to help us and bridge us through. He's been extremely helpful. We got a great culture in our linebacker room. Even though a lot of those young guys haven't played a lot of actual snaps, the competition in there is fierce. But it's no backbiting. Everybody's helping each other, and it's raising the level of play of every single person in that room. So obviously Joe's been a big help, but just love the competition and the competitiveness of everybody in that room.
You see some of the plays the secondary's been making while you've been out, just to have Ward and Bynum and guys like that. So what's your excitement just to kind of get back and play with those guys for the first time?
Oh, man. I mean, that was probably the hardest part of, like, the last 2 weeks is just, you know, I watch our defense and, you know, with Mooney, Cam, I mean, obviously K-Mo out there, young Wiley, you know, that D-line, I mean, Latu heating up, Buck, Grove, I mean, I was itching to get out there, you know, not only just to be out there to compete with my guys, but, you know, I just see my place in this thing. And, you know, it feels good for me to be out there and so we can start getting that one band, one sound and get the hunting together.
You talk injuries are part of this. How do you react when you see Ahmed go down and carted off like that?
Man, I love Savon. I mean, I've known Savon for about 9 years. I knew him back when he was at UW, back when I was training in Seattle as a young pup. Extremely tough. You know, praying for him, loving on him. I'm obviously shoot him a text. I know he's probably going through all kind of mental stuff right now. It's a tough situation. You know, young Trey, I mean, he's competing for a job, straight up, you know. So he's out here trying to compete and trying to be better. And, you know, we're warriors on that field. When we step on that field, we understand what the possibilities are. Obviously, we're a team, so we're not trying to hurt each other, but at the same time, we're competing. These guys are trying to feed their family, so it's a part of the game. But definitely a tough break for Zavon. Definitely praying for him.
Real quick, Shane said that he talked to some of the leaders on the team because at that point you could end practice, but he said like he thought it was important to finish when you guys told him like let's go ahead and let's get the work done. Were you part of that at all? Or do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be extreme, but you know, our defensive staff was in Cincinnati when they played Buffalo. Like they had to go play that. You know, well they didn't play, but that's an extreme situation. But it's just certain things are a part of the game, you know, and it's like as sad as that stuff is, and we all hurting. We all love Savon. Savon's a great guy in the building. He one of those guys when you see him, you just happy to see him, you know. So like obviously we all feeling that emotionally, but at the end of the day, we got to win. We got to compete. We got to keep growing. We got to keep grinding. Like this team is on a process. You know, there's guys out here that need those reps to compete and get better. Like we trying to be the best teams that we could be so we could win, you know, and like we got to keep pushing ourselves. And you know, as tough as the situation is, we needed an opportunity, and honestly, it was an opportunity for us to grow and push through that, and continue to be physical, continue to play the game that we love, the way it's supposed to be played.
How we doing?
What do you think's led to you're having a really good camp? What do you think's led to this camp for you so far?
I would say, you know, just the work that I put in the off season. You know, I felt confident, you know, going to my third year in the offense, and I would just say, yeah, just staying ready. You know, any opportunity that you get, you got to make the most of it, and that's what I want to do. I want to show, you know, the coaches and the team that I can be a valuable member and help the offense in any way. So, I think that's been the biggest thing for me is just take advantage of the opportunities and keep making plays.
How much of it has been being healthy?
I mean, yeah, being available is big time, and I think you know this off season I really, you know, honed into that of you know I got to do whatever I got to do to stay healthy, whether that's soft tissue or whatnot. So that's been obviously very helpful for me, and I want to continue, you know, being available. So it's been big.
Was last year frustrating? You know, you had a really promising rookie year, got to play a lot, and make a lot of catches. Last year, maybe not as much. Was last year tough?
Yeah, you know, I don't think it went the way that, you know, any of us wanted to end, you know, and obviously I would love to play more and, you know, but I think it's just, you know, it's this what I said. It's when you get your opportunity, you got to make the most of it, and sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Whatever the team needs me to do, that's what I'm going to do, and last year just didn't happen that way, and this year, you know, I want to change that. I want to, you know, make myself available and, you know, just make the opportunities. So.
Did you do anything differently to prepare for the season, body-wise or training-wise?
You know, I train at the same place that I always do, and I think I just, you know, I think going into your third year in the offense, you feel very comfortable in the scheme and everything. And I think when you do that, then that, you know, gives you the ability to kind of start focusing on, okay, you kind of add a little bit of your own, you know, to it, a little bit of your own touch to, you know, getting open to your routes and whatnot. So, I think that was been the biggest thing for me. And then just being more confident in my ability in the run game. I just want to show the coaches that I can do whatever they ask me to.
This tight end group's seen a good bit of change. Kylan left free agency and Tyler is in there. Is this like a clean slate for you guys? Even though it's still Tom Manning, it's still Shane. How much of a clean slate is this for you guys?
The guys that we have in there are great, from Coach Tom to the veterans all the way down to the rookies with Tyler and Max. It's a great room, and I think we really, really get along together. It's obviously competitive, but I think we all genuinely want to get better, and we want to see each of us, do well. So we all push each other, and we encourage each other, but the room is great, and I absolutely love working with all of them.
We hear a lot about how just tight end is one of the more difficult transitions from college to the NFL. Just how much more ready and confident and comfortable do you feel now when you think back to your first camp or last year?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, going into my third year, you definitely feel more comfortable. And the tight end position is one that takes time to develop. For me, obviously, I'm not Mo. I'm not going to be his size. So in the run game, that's taken time for me, and I want to continue to improve on that and keep showing that like I said, I can do more than just receiving. So yeah, definitely third year in, you feel really confident, and the guys around us, we work well together. So we're all feeling really good for this year.
When Savon went down, the entire team come over there to pray for him. Why was that important for you all to do?
Yeah, I think this team does a great job of being together, and we're there for each and every one. So seeing one of our brothers go down, it's obviously very tough, and we just got nothing but thoughts and prayers for him, Wells wishes. So we're there for him in the ups and downs. That's for everybody. So seeing that obviously hurts, and we're there for him no matter what.
Will you have a Baltimore practice on Tuesday? How important are sessions like that to go against other competition, and what are you guys looking to get out of that on Tuesday ahead of the preseason game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you do the 2 weeks or so of going against each other, you get a great competition, obviously, but then now you get to go play someone else, and we get to see how we match up, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to go out there and improve. Coach Shane had mentioned in the beginning of how we want to set that edge, for our team, and this is a great opportunity for us to go do that. So we're excited for the opportunity to go up there and play a good team. So we're just going to go up there, work our tail off and keep improving.